Let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Shank Club NFL Saturday Shenanigans is back as usual. I'm your boy, Nick, in the house. How's everyone doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching. Glad to have you along. Got plenty to talk about. As usual, we'll be picking games a bit later. I think also we're going to run with the Shank Club NFL Fantasy Update. That's, of course, if my co-host, Carl, has got all the paperwork there. I'm sure he has, because he's far more organised than I am. Carl, how are you?
Nice transition there. Nice transition. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, mate. Really good week at work. We had our preview show for week 9 on Thursday. We had a very good, not a special guest on. Simon Carroll from the touchdown.co.uk website, and he's also a host on the Collapsing Pocket podcast as well. We went through a lot of different subjects. Talked about Odell Beckham Jr. We talked about Henry Ruggs. We also had a little bit of a deep dive in the college football rankings as well, because a lot of people believe it is a total and utter crapshoot. And then we done all our picks for week 9. So yeah, it's been a rather good week. Looking forward to this week's slate of games. And as always, looking forward to seeing all my buddies on here to, well, talk shit, frankly.
Got to have a Saturday shit show, talk show, obviously, definitely. And talking of shit show, Kansas City's resident fan. How are you, Scott? Are you well?
I'm real well. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, all good here. See, I always have to give you some sort of build up to bring you on, and it just led Carl. That was Carl's fault. He led me into that with one arm.
I need all the help I can get, Nick.
Good to have you on, and we have a late player coming in off the bench. Made it with minutes to spare.
Although his lighting's a bit wonky. What's going on with your lighting?
Yeah, he's probably got to put 50p in the meter or something. You're on mute. You haven't paid your electricity bill because your microphone's not on either. There you go.
Well, that was a good start, wasn't it?
Yeah, you've done really well. You're sitting in the dark and your microphone don't work. But apart from that, Nick, how are you?
Yeah, very good. I have actually got every light on in the flat. It's like fucking Blackpool Illuminations in here at the moment, but apparently that's not coming through on camera, so...
Absolutely 100% isn't. You honestly, you look like that you got a camera, one of them scented candles in the background, and that's the whole lighting scenario you've got going on.
How's that?
As they say, come into the light, come into the light. That's a little bit better. It is a little bit better, but it's still, well, you'll see when you watch it back. You are quite dark. But there you go. And I'm not talking about your personality. I'm talking about the light.
That would be true as well.
No comment. Are you still playing football, Nick, or is that all done now?
No, we've our brand new season started. We've had a few away games for friendly tournaments, charity tournaments. But now we've got the Southwest Series coming up. In fact, the lads are off tomorrow to Gwent to play the first couple of games in that tournament. I won't be going myself because, unfortunately, work has rotated me in for the day. So I shall be watching from afar.
Gotta love British Telecom, right?
No comment.
Yeah, well, you know they provide my internet and it is shit, so I wouldn't want to work for them. But there you go. So, Carl, latest news.
Yes.
You wanted to talk about Aaron Rodgers. I haven't seen the interview. I've only seen what people have been putting on Twitter, but obviously I named this episode Never Trust a Podcaster to Give You Good Advice. And I'm assuming he could have gone to several doctors, but apparently his friend is a podcaster or something, and he asked for COVID advice from him, apparently. I don't know.
He's not just any podcaster. He's a commentator for the UFC and Joe Rogan. Which I find quite hilarious and laughable, but also of all the people you go to try and find a remedy because you're allergic to Pfizer or Moderna or whichever vaccine it is, instead of going to a scientist or a doctor or someone in the medical industry, you go to a friend of yours who's just a commentator for the UFC. I don't quite get the gist of that at all. My stance on this is actually quite severe because the NFL has put in protocols for players that have been vaccinated and players that haven't been vaccinated. We all know all the shit that Kirk Cousins got when he got unvaccinated, and his response was he'd rather surround himself in plexiglass. Typical Vikings know how to demeanor themselves. I just think
that could be a reason why he fucks up so many passes, because the plexiglass gets in the fucking way when he throws it, tries to throw it downfield. That could be the reason. Now that is a very interesting point that you bring up there, Carl. Thank you for that.
He deflects off the glass like fucking Sonic the Hedgehog deflects off a wall that won't go through. But regarding the Rodgers thing, it's not so much that he has lied about this. He's just been very, very deceitful about this, saying that he's immunized. And the media kind of thought, okay, well, that kind of just gives it away that he has been vaccinated. The problem is, there's always going to be one smarter person in the room than Aaron Rodgers or anyone that's standing up on the podium. The fact that he has an allergy to this, I've not heard of people that have allergies to COVID. They've just not had it, or just had their own stance on it, saying that I don't want to get into the political side of things because I'm honestly not smart enough to go through that. But the fact that he's done that and has put his team at risk, he's put his coaches at risk. Worse still, Matt LaFleur is just acting like it's just a laughing matter, like it doesn't mean anything. It then means now he's out for the game against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday. More for Kansas City, so it means Aaron Rodgers is going to be staying at a Mahomes. It's just blind foolishness from Rodgers. Here's the thing, right?
So just clear this up for me, because I haven't seen the interview, I haven't read the article or anything. Did he tell everyone that he'd had the jab, or didn't he specify it?
Right, he said on the 26th of August, a reporter asked him, "Have you had the vaccine?" He goes, "Yeah, I have been immunized." Okay. Everyone kind of thought, okay, that basically means he's had the vaccine and he's vaccinated. That's not the case. He's gone to someone else. He's gone to someone else to get a different remedy, so that apparently he has this allergic reaction to one of the ingredients in the vaccine. Yet not a single reporter turned around to him and goes, "Well, what ingredient in the vaccine is it?" Not only that, right? Not only that, there was also a protocol put in the NFL, right? If you are unvaccinated, right, and you do get COVID, it's a 10-day period. If you're vaccinated, it's only 48 hours, as long as you have 2 false tests afterwards, and then you're allowed back in. Rodgers broke that protocol. He broke the protocol of not wearing a mask to the podium when he said he was vaccinated, when he wasn't. So there's the second broken one. And then the third one, if anybody saw on Twitter, he held a Halloween party at his residence. Now, one of the rules of the protocols was you are not allowed to host gatherings if you are unvaccinated. So he's now done it a third time. I don't know how many more rules he's going to break, but here's a bit I'm going to say. Okay, if this was Patrick Mahomes, if this was Tom Brady, if this was now sounding retired Drew Brees, everyone will be in uproar and will be absolutely furious, and there'll be so much criticism going through social media and everywhere. But because it's Aaron Rodgers, it just seems like he always gets a pass with everything. This is why I've never liked the guy. Talent-wise, I respect him hugely. What he does on the field is amazing. But the way he just contributes himself, the way he talks, the way he just acts, the way he just walks to his domain, and the way he demands it is either his way or the highway. That's why I have beef with Aaron Rodgers about this. I absolutely hate the person. Love the player, hate the person. And apparently now I've heard from Pro Football Talk, I saw a tweet on it this morning, that apparently the NFL are now giving Rodgers a 90-day period where he doesn't have to be tested now. Talk about this is the NFL trying to cut off their nose to spite their face here and try and protect the big names of the NFL. That's what basically Roger Goodell's gone. He's gone and protect Aaron Rodgers from this. I think it's utter bollocks. You have to accept if you're like, you make a decision. If you take the vaccine, you get vaccinated, you make your decision. Fine. Same with if you don't want the vaccine, that's fine. But you have to accept the consequences if you contract COVID. It doesn't matter if you're in an NFL team. It doesn't matter if you work in any business. It doesn't matter if you work in any sector of the working industry. You have to accept the consequences. And Rodgers is that one person who doesn't take criticism lightly. He has never, ever liked it. And this is why it's getting worse and worse by the day. I'll go back to you, Nick.
Sorry, I was muted myself then, so you didn't hear what I said. I said, tell us what you really think. No, I'm only joking. What's your view on it?
I think it's full of crap. That's my view on it. I think it's full of crap.
It does smell a bit, I have to admit. What's your feelings on it, Scott?
Look, I watched the interview. I think everything he said, he had a lot of research, and he had a lot of statistics, and he had a lot of studies backing up what he said. A lot of people that are attacking him now have mischaracterized and misconstrued and twisted around what he said. He didn't contact Joe Rogan about the vaccine. He contacted Joe Rogan after he contracted COVID, because Joe Rogan contracted COVID and was over it in a 48-hour period with the medications that him and his medical team had given him. So that's what he contacted Joe Rogan about. He never once in the interview said he talked to Joe Rogan about the vaccine or not. It's one of those things where he claims that he's followed all the protocols while in the facility, and that the only protocol he hasn't followed is, like Carl mentioned, when he's at the podium doing a press conference. But that protocol is not based in any kind of science whatsoever to begin with. You have reporters who are all vaccinated, wearing masks, all at least 6 feet away from him. He's tested every day as an unvaccinated player. He's tested negative. Why in the fuck does he need to wear a mask at the podium if he's in a room socially distanced from everybody else who is vaccinated and wearing a mask? It doesn't make any fucking sense. So, according to him, he's followed all the rules. He's worked out off to the side. He's ate meals by himself when he's traveled. He hasn't left the hotel. I don't have any reason to believe that he lied about any of the other stuff. So, to me, it's people attacking him because he hasn't made the decision to get vaccinated that they think he should make and that he should have to make. That's really what it boils down to.
I mean, if it was mandatory, he wouldn't have a choice, right? If it was mandatory, he wouldn't have a choice. Now, if he still turned around and it's everyone's choice, I get that. But if it was mandatory that you had to have it, then If he didn't, he doesn't play, right? That
Right.
would be it.
Yeah, I mean if the NFL came down and mandated it, which they're never going to do. I don't think anyway.
Well, they can't because it's kind of like a
Right.
it's civil liberties or whatever,
And,
an infringement of your human right or whatever
Right.
you want to say.
Right.
People
saying that he
understand.
lied about being vaccinated. He didn't lie about being vaccinated. They asked him if he was vaccinated. He didn't say, yes, I have been. He said, I've been immunized. And to him, and I agree with him on this point, to me, it's nobody's business whether you've gotten the vaccine or not. We have laws in place in America that prevent your workplace from sharing your private medical information with outside parties. And to me, those are important laws. He talked about, having autonomy over your body, which I agree with. And so to me, it's a political witch hunt, again, by people who think that he should have gotten vaccinated or he should have to get vaccinated, and he hasn't. So they are going to twist around and they're going to mock him. And he talked about it's a shaming thing, the thing with the mask. That's all about shaming, and that's all about virtue signaling. And that's not based in science, okay? He said that the NFL, he gave them all of the studies and all the evidence when he was appealing his status as being unvaccinated because he had been immunized. He gave them all of the data, all of the studies, all of the information from his medical team. And the NFL came back to him. You want to talk about lies? He said that they told him in the protocol and in the NFL policy that if you've been vaccinated, you cannot get or spread COVID, which is a flat out lie. And we all know that.
It is a lie. It is a flat out lie.
So to me, if anything, he's been more upfront about the facts and been accurate than the NFL has been with their protocols and their policies. So I think it's much ado about nothing, to be honest with you. He's going to miss the game Sunday, which, hey, that some people would say that helps the Chiefs. I don't know if it does or not. I mean, it makes the game easier to win. We'll talk about that later. But those are my thoughts. My thoughts are I watched the interview. I agree with everything he said. He is much more researched, has much more finances, the ability to study, put together a medical team. He claims that he is, he has some allergies. As myself, someone who has had issues with flu, I don't know if they call them flu vaccines or flu shots, whatever you want to call them, I can understand that. The two sickest times I've ever been in my entire life are after getting shots for a flu shot. So, again, I think it's one of these things where it's a personal decision that people don't agree with, so now he's being attacked for it. And I think since he's a high-profile player, he's getting more criticism and more attention than somebody who maybe isn't as high-profile of a player.
I think as well it's got a lot to do with how arrogant as well that he is, which is why he's probably getting attacked more, because he comes across as this, well, he probably is a real arrogant arsehole, if the truth be known. So that probably adds to the melting pot as well and stirs it up a bit. Have you seen it, Nick? What did you think from what you've heard?
I've not seen it myself, but from the bits that I've heard, he lied, and he needs to suffer the consequences for that. Nick, I have my own health issues. I'm immunosuppressed because I'm essentially on chemotherapy drugs. I'll be on that hopefully for the rest of my life. Now, people who are refusing the vaccine based on so-called research are full of shit. They are full of shit. All right? Tossers like that are the reason why people like myself are dying because of COVID. Okay? That is the bare facts. Now, if I'm having chemo and these vaccines are safe for me, I've got my third one now on Thursday. If they're safe for me, they're safe for fucking everybody. Man the fuck up. I'm not going to say no more because it makes me angry.
I can see that, Nick. I can see that. So not only do you have health issues, you have lighting issues as well. So that's two things you've got that are bad for you at the moment. But no, I mean, as I say, I haven't watched it. The thing with the mascot, I agree with you. If they are socially distanced and the reporters are wearing masks, makes no difference whether he wears one or not, because the only person he is infecting, if everyone else around has got masks on, it's only going to affect him. It's not going to affect anyone else. I do think it has a lot to do with Aaron Rodgers' personality, the way he's getting attacked because of who he is, and because he is high profile and all the rest of it. I'm double vaccinated. I didn't have any side effects at all. A couple of people I know did have some, but within a day they were done. So I don't, and it's a personal choice at the end of the day. And I don't think a man should be attacked for his personal choice. But if he did lie, mislead, etc., then yeah, he should be brought to bear on those things, not the fact that he was jabbed or immunized or whatever terminology he decided to use at the time. He's given your Chiefs a real chance because we're going to see Jordan Love, and we are going to get into that. And how much were you sweating last week, Mr. Rodgers, with your team just squeaking by the Giants when you said there was no chance they were going to lose, blah, 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 and you only just squeaked it?
Well, I gave them a 0.0% chance of losing, and they didn't lose. So technically,
the Giants got undone by their own incompetence in the fourth quarter. Those two penalties really did flip and kill them. And also, if they
of the game, some would argue that penalties kept them in the game to begin with. So that all comes out in the wash. The Chiefs, they did the same thing that they've done all season. They were obviously the superior team. They come out, opening drive, move the ball at will, get down to the goal line. Guy drops the pass, turns into an interception. They're marching the ball down in the third quarter. I can't remember if it was late third or early fourth quarter. They're marching down the field. They score. If they score a touchdown, they go up by 2 possessions, start to put the game out of reach. Travis Kelce has a fumble. They continue to shoot themselves in the foot over and over and over, and they make games closer than they should be. Does anybody think that the Chiefs are only talent-wise 3 points better than the Giants? I don't.
No.
I think two touchdowns by minimum.
Exactly. And if they don't turn the ball over on that opening drive, the guy catches the ball in the end zone, hits him in the face, he doesn't catch it. If Travis Kelce doesn't fumble that ball going down there into the – so they – it's one of those things where I just keep waiting for this team to wake up and be the team that they've been for the last 2 or 3 years and stop with the self-inflicted wounds, I guess you could call them, and play up to the level that they're capable of playing at. There's been some encouraging developments on the defense. Nick Bolton looks like a really good player. He wasn't playing because Anthony Hitchens was the starter. Hitchens gets hurt. He comes in. Him and Willie Gay get more reps together at linebacker. The run defense has gotten a lot better. The defense has looked like it's improved. Now they're talking about Hitchens coming back, and he's going to get his starting job back. I'm starting to question whether the coaching staff, especially on the defensive side of the ball, knows what the fuck they're doing, because they played players who were struggling, and then when they were forced to put some other guys in that had been playing behind those guys, the defense has actually played better, and those players have looked better than the starters. I don't understand that. I'm not smart enough to know the intricacies and the nuances of schemes and play calls and what every player is supposed to be doing, what their responsibility is on every play. But to me, it looks like they may have some better players sitting on the bench than the starters, which is troubling. So yeah, I was nervous during the game. Obviously, it was a close game. I just kept expecting the Chiefs to pull away, and every time it looked like they were, there they go, turning the ball over, doing something dumb, giving up a play on 3rd and long or a fumble. And yeah, it's on to the next game. Obviously, a win's a win. You don't apologize for winning. Everybody loves the Titans now. Well, the Titans lost to the Jets. Everybody loves, who are some of the other top teams in the AFC that everybody's enamored with? The Chargers. They got their ass kicked by the Ravens and then lost to the Patriots, who are a decent team. But I think everybody thinks if the Chargers are as good as the Chargers, everybody says they are, they should beat the Patriots. So it's just a really strange year. And the AFC, in my opinion, is wide open right now. I mean, you look at the Bills. They were everybody's Cinderella, and they've lost at home to the Steelers, and then they lost to the Titans in a close game. So I wasn't really that nervous about the game. It was closer than I thought, which was frustrating, but I expected them to pull it out and win in the end, and they did.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the other thing with the Titans is now they've lost Derrick Henry.
Right.
That's pretty much their offensive gone. I know they've got their backup McNichols. He's going to be the starting running back now for Tennessee. Doesn't matter though. Ryan Tannehill is a good QB, but he's not a game changer quarterback.
And a lot of what they do,
they are just very, very glad that they actually beat the Colts last week, because now that gives them a little bit more space to breathe. They only have to play mediocre, and they probably still win the AFC South.
Right. And a lot of and sorry to jump in, but a lot of what the Titans do in their passing game is predicated and dependent upon the running game and the play action and the threat of Derrick Henry coming out of the backfield. So that's a huge loss, obviously, for that team.
Haven't they just signed Adrian Peterson as well? Because they signed him to the practice squad and then elevated him straight away, pretty much. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, they have re-signed him, but I think because from my fantasy stats, Adrian Peterson has got very, very low points, so I'm imagining he's going to be the RB2 behind Nichols.
Yeah, you'd like to. I can't see AP coming in and starting, not straight off the bat, but right.
Two questions. Sorry, Nick. Two questions I want to ask Scott. Scott, obviously Rodgers isn't playing. Jordan Love now makes his proper NFL debut. The fact that no one's got a single bit of tape on him except from Utah State in a proper professional game, is that going to concern Steve Spagnuolo in any way? And secondly, talking of the defense, Sorensen he's getting a little bit burned in the last 3 or 4 games or so. He can't play coverage safety. He's a box-to-box safety. What do you say to that?
I agree with that. Daniel Sorensen he's not, like you said, he's not a coverage player. To me, I've always looked at him as kind of like a super linebacker, if you want to call it that. I don't know what term you would use. He's a safety, but like you said, he plays in the box. He's a run stuffer. He's a physical guy. He's not the fastest. He's not probably the most athletically gifted player on the defense. So, yeah, he's been caught out of position a few times. You'd like to think that maybe they have a better option at some point than him. So I don't. That's kind of troubling to me. Going to the Jordan Love thing, I understand. There's the element of the unknown, and how do you prepare for a guy like Jordan Love? But honestly, Steve Spagnuolo and that defense ought to be licking their chops at going against a quarterback who's never taken an NFL snap before. To me, there's no way of twisting that around. There's no excuses. And everybody is talking about how the Chiefs dodged a bullet, and the game is definitely easier to win without Aaron Rodgers. I don't think anybody would argue that. But to me, it almost turns the game into like a lose-lose situation for the Chiefs. If they come out and win, well, of course they won, because they didn't have to play Aaron Rodgers, and they should have won, and they would have lost if Aaron Rodgers had played. And if they lose somehow, then the criticism and the panic level is going to get ratcheted up 100 times more than it already is on that team. And so, to me, it's catching a break. There's no excuse to let Jordan Love come out here and light up your defense. If he does, then there's major concern for the coaching staff, not just for this year, but hell, for next year. You can't plan for a guy that's never taken an NFL snap that should be, I mean, they should be sitting there salivating, like I said, licking their chops to go against that rookie quarterback this Sunday.
Yeah, I think the element of surprise is all enticing in this game. I mean, I can really see this game for the Packers relying very, very heavily on Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon running the ball. But I know, but Jordan Love is very explosive with his legs. He is very, very quick. And unlike Rodgers, who's more of a pocket passer, but does scramble and does maneuver ball, Jordan Love can actually take off.
Yeah.
So, and also as well, Dave Bakhtiari, if he is back this week, then that offensive line of the Packers is now 100%. Is their front five to protect Jordan Love. Adams gets open, Lazard gets open, MVS gets open. Obviously, no Robert Tonyan at tight end. It's going to be very, very interesting how they work around that. Probably use Mercedes Lewis a little bit more. This game has got the element of surprise, and this is why I can see this being a trap game. So,
yeah, no, I agree that there is that element of surprise. My point is that you're playing against a quarterback who's never started an NFL game in his career, and as a defensive coordinator and as a defensive staff, that should be an advantage, not a disadvantage.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and we'll obviously we're going to pick that game very, very shortly. Two more things to touch on quickly. Carl, Shank Club NFL Fantasy Football. How's it all going? Who's leading? And as you know, I don't understand any of this, so lead us through it, my man.
Okay, so here we go. So this was last week. Where are we now? We're up to week 8. Well, now, yeah, this is the week 8 from last week. 2 weeks ago, I won my first matchup, and it was against John. Yay! And then I go back to losing again. So, yeah, nothing me. So I lose to Dion by 10 points, 115 to 105. John, unfortunately, suffered the same fate as me, losing to Breezy, 108 to 99. Scott is still in the running and is still keeping up close in the playoff spots. 110 to a 74 win over Bristol Brady Gaga. That's Josh, I believe. The posh boy, Freddie, he got a win over Andy the Spud, 96 to 83. James still keeps a hold of the top spots in their division. 135 to 116 over Scott from the EDF Fantasy League. And Peachy is doing an amazing. Look at that score. 152 to 107. Absolutely annihilated. Who was it that she played, by the way? I'm just having a look now. Oh, beat Tristan. That's a huge win. Absolute huge win. So those are the results, as you can see.
The only thing shocking about all of this is Scott is still in the running. Can't we fix it or change his team remotely or do something so he ends up blowing it?
I've been without 2 of my top 3 draft picks for most of the season, and I'm still right in there. Once Christian McCaffrey and Clyde Edwards-Helaire get healthy, you guys are gonna have to watch out.
Okay, so here are the standings in the East Division. So we've got James still sitting at the top at 6-2. Tristan is now sitting at 5-3, 1 game back. So is Josh. He's sitting at 1 game back. Freddie sits at 4-4. Wayne sits at 4-4, and then fuck it, time to deep dive for time to tank and go for a draft pick next year because I'm at 1-7. On the west side,
is that you at the very bottom?
I should really change my name to. My name is Zeke and Destroy. I should turn my name to Zeke and Not Destroy,
or just
or Zeke and Destroyed.
Completely
or Zeke and be destroyed. Yeah, exactly that. All right, on the west division, all looks a lot tighter. Dion still sits at the top at 6-2. Scott, KC, you are 5-3, but you are being level pegged by Crystal Peachy. She's now sits at 5-3. Scott from EDF, he is at 4-4. Andy sits at 2-6, and then John is basically in the same boat as me. We are in the trash can arena where we're deep dive for a top draft pick next year, looks like. So we've only we've got about 6 games left to go. It's still all to play for. But yeah, I could basically say this. Me and John have definitely been eliminated from the playoff race as it stands.
And talking of tomato cans, John, how are you?
What's up?
What's
going on?
timing is impeccable, John.
Oh dear. Sorry, John.
Yeah, Carl, we're in the toilet, bro.
We're in the scrub club, all right?
Yes.
The battle of the wooden spoons between Carl and John, and that's something I never thought I'd say. How are you, John? Are you well?
Yeah, we're doing well, man. How you guys been?
Yeah, all good here, all good. We got Ryan as well. Ryan, hopefully you've got a stable connection. How you doing?
So far, we're good. Hi, Carl. Hi, Nick. Hi, Scott. Hi, John. Hi, Nick.
Don't
We're all
move.
good. Right now,
Stay,
it's running real
stay
smooth.
in one position.
That's right.
Okay, one more thing to discuss before we get into the picks. OBJ released. All his salary has been written off.
I told you every single one of you on it. OBJ is not good for Baker Mayfield. I have said that from day fucking one.
I don't think Baker's good for
Cleveland.
For anybody right now.
Subway around as well.
Baker's regressed.
He's good at home with Baker Mayfield, but that's about it.
I don't know, man. I think they're hesitant to give him a paycheck, man. I don't know that he's going to be worth a $200 million payday, especially in Stefanski's eyes. Like, he's a franchise quarterback, but is he worth the big bucks? Like the big bucks?
He's not in that elite status. He's not up there. At the top.
So what do you pay a guy that's in that status? Like, what do you pay a guy that's like Tannehill and guys like Tannehill,
Stafford,
Baker? No, Stafford's elite. Stafford's elite.
Okay, Stafford elite. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tannehill reminds me of guys like
Derek Carr.
He's
a lot of
Cousins right now.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins. Exactly. Those guys are they're great. They're not elite.
Competent QBs. That's really, you can put it into that sort of tier.
Yeah. And that's what they should be. I just don't think Baker's worth $30 million a year.
So do you?
No, at least not.
To me, like, unless you have one of the elite guys, I think you shouldn't spend a lot of money at that position. You should keep looking.
Sure, but we're at his 5th year, right?
Right, but I mean, if you say he's a franchise quarterback, I mean, I guess maybe I have a little bit different definition of a franchise quarterback than most people.
Yeah, because you're getting $500 million contract.
That's true.
That's
true.
That's like not even. It's like that would be another category. Like, elite quarterbacks get $200 million, and then God's children get $500 million.
Demigods? Is that what you're talking about?
God's children.
But then again, you know, when players get the bag, dude, some reason they have an ass season. Look at Patrick Mahomes right now. Does this look like Patrick Mahomes? Man, I mean, for every one of us that picks him in fantasy, DraftKings, and just watches him on Sundays, we're just like, what's happening here? You know, like, he keeps saying we're not in sync. It's like, hey, Pat, man, you're not synced. They're synced. You're not synced. You're overthrowing guys.
See, I think it's the exact opposite. Half of his interceptions are passes that he hit the guy right in the hands and they dropped it and it turned into an interception.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
There
are.
To me, he's. I mean, you look at the guy. He's 3rd in passing yards and 4th in passing touchdowns, his QBR is right up there. If guys would catch the ball and then hold on to the ball, what would he look like? I think he's the furthest thing from the problem with the Chiefs.
I mean, he has there are drops, but there are also passes that are low, behind, too far ahead, overthrown. I mean, there's you know, I've always said that the drop stat should never count against the quarterback. That should be a wide receiver stat. That's your fault.
Right.
You know, that's your fault. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, he has missed. I mean, there's been some overthrows here, but I mean, that's every quarterback. I mean, he's not perfect, and maybe he set the bar. And maybe he set the bar too high in his first 2 or 3 years playing too. I mean, maybe it's not reasonable to expect anybody to play that well.
You got a new offensive line. There's definitely, you got some offensive line. You got to start getting chemistry, and you got to gel. You know, you ever notice that his pocket presence is not what it used to be, because those guys are different. They're just different.
Yeah.
His footwork in the pocket just seems different to me, even, you know. Yeah. But
to me, though, he's not like, that's part of like what makes him special, is his ability to get out and move around and make plays happen, though. So I don't know. Are you? It's like you saw this for how many years? Teams would draft a quarterback, and then they would try to force him and teach him to play the pro style offense when that wasn't their skill set. You're starting to see, like the Ravens with Lamar Jackson and some of these other guys, they're getting away from that. So I don't know that Patrick Mahomes will ever be a statue in the pocket, Peyton Manning. That's not his game, really.
I think the league has figured everybody out, Scott, and now it's just these players are going to have to use their talent more than their legs. Now the league has figured you out. You know what I mean? They just we can't catch Tyreek Hill, so we're just going to play a little off. And there's a lot of pressure too, man. There's pressure on those receivers. There's coverage. Some guys are doubled.
Especially when you know your defense is terrible and you need to score a touchdown on 9 out of 10 drives to have a chance.
Look, man, when we had Kaepernick,
safety is they're forcing the Chiefs into longer drives, and the biggest difference between a 4 and 5 play drive and a 14 and 15 play drive is every play you add, you're adding the element of a mistake, of a penalty, of a drop, of a fumble, of an interception. I think that adjustment has hurt the Chiefs more than anything. But if you look at Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he's still, like I said, he's top 5 in almost every major category. I mean, you'll take that, right?
Sure.
So they just need to cut out the mistakes, the drops and the turnovers, and the defense needs to get a little bit better, get some more stops.
The league just makes adjustments, man. They figured out Kaepernick shortly after his breakout season, and it just sometimes pocket passers just have a longer career, because I mean, it's just where the ball should be thrown from, the pocket, where the protection is, right? I mean,
right. And he can do that. I mean, he had, I think his first season, he was the number 1 rated passer from a clean pocket, but he hasn't had that for a little while now. And dude, that's got to be in your head.
Oh, without a doubt.
The last year, you haven't had a clean pocket to throw from. You're not used to throwing from a clean pocket. So, but yeah. And hey, if the league figuring you out means you're 3rd and 4th and 5th and all of the major,
you're bound to fall down a few
statistics.
Dude. You're gonna drop a few.
You're still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Where'd Nick go? We start talking about Patrick Mahomes and Nick bails out on him.
No, British Telecom looks like he's cut him off again because he hasn't paid his fucking bill. Okay. Right. So obviously Nick put up a little screen up there saying it was the NFL waiver wire order. Odell Beckham Jr. has now been released. Apparently, the Browns restructured his contract for this year, saying that of the $8 million that he was due. So it looks like now the Browns are going to be swallowing $7 million of it, and then making the other team pay the other $1 million to bring him in when it goes to waivers. Where can you see OBJ landing. But what I will say this, for me, I've got 4 criteria on where OBJ should land. First one is the destination. Secondly, who's the head coach? Thirdly, who's the quarterback? And fourth, is there a bona fide number 1 wide receiver in that receiving court of that actual team? So those are the 4 criteria I have. So obviously we've got the top 14 there. So Nick, we'll run for you first.
Looking at that list, I would say the Jags, based purely on obviously because they got Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he falls to Seattle that far, but one of the out of those, say I would go as far as probably the top 8. Out of all of those, I would say, as bad as Jacksonville are, they could be the best destination for him because they're probably stupid enough to pay him a king's ransom to get him there.
Well, that's the thing. They won't need to pay him until the next contract of next year. So
yeah, but they've still got to pay him a decent chunk to get him there, and then hope they can keep him, and he wasn't just a 6 or 8 game rental.
Okay, all right. So you've chosen Jacksonville. So let's go through the 4 criteria. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence. He's a rookie. He's up and coming, and he's starting to get to grips with things. Receiving core. Yeah, you could probably say there is a bona fide number 1 in Jacksonville. I'll give that. Destination is Jacksonville. He prefers a more bigger, more lavish type of city, so you could probably rule that out. And then there's the coach. You really think he's going to go to Urban Meyer?
He might like strip clubs, and he might be able to show him to the right places. You never know. And who wouldn't want to play in a stadium? Who wouldn't want to play in a stadium with a swimming
It's half
pool?
empty half the time. It's half empty.
What, the swimming pool? That's bad. They should at least top up the swimming pool every week. That's disgraceful.
I meant the stadium, not the pool, but the pool goes with the dialogue. Okay. Scott.
I think OBJ is a mess, and I think the Detroit Lions are first on that list, and they're a fucking mess, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So I'm going to go with the Lions.
Coach, no. QB, hell no. Receiver, they don't have enough bona fide number 1 in Detroit is a rundown state.
Perfect for a guy like that. That's a match made in heaven.
I do like your logic, Scott, and I want to change. I concur. The Detroit Lions, fucked up city with a fucked up QB taking a fucked up receiver. It's perfect.
Okay. Nick Ludlam.
He's not going to get out of the top 3, but I don't know. I mean, if he can get there, maybe Washington. But he's not going to fall out of the top 3. They're going to put claims in on him, especially if they've only got to pay him $1 million for the rest of the season.
Might sell you some jerseys and some more tickets, like you.
I doubt it.
Actually, WTF are pretty fucked up as well. So we're going for all the train wreck teams. So
they're
far
not first,
we're going for all the train wreck teams. We're not going through all the teams that look legitimately correct for OBJ. So that's where we're coming to it.
None of those top. Let's be honest. None of the top 10 teams are really good for him. Maybe Seattle. They've got this horrible thing of being good when they're actually shite. But
I'll also add in this as well. Are any of these teams currently right now in playoff contention? The Lions, no. Dolphins, looks like my bold prediction has been correct from the very start. Texans, no. Jags, no. Jets, no. Giants, no. Washington, no. Eagles, they've got an up-and-coming QB, but they're a long way off yet. Seattle, no. Bears are sort of in the running for a wild card, but that's with them reaching. And then you look at Atlanta.
With the Bears, though, they don't use Allen Robinson correctly. So what are they going to do with OBJ when they've already got Allen Robinson and they don't use him?
Correct. I'll rule the Bears out then. Falcons, they've just lost Calvin Ridley. Might not be a bad option for Atlanta. But I wouldn't bypass the 49ers. He's always said he wanted to be his first destination when he was at the Giants. If he was to get traded anywhere, he said he wanted to go to LA. 49ers is not a bad place to be in. He can be the bona fide number one, although Deebo Samuel is making a big case right now, because I believe he's currently got more receiving yards this year than what Jerry Rice had. I can't remember what year it was now. There was a stat I saw this morning in one particular season. So there is a chance of that. Ryan, where can you see OBJ landing?
Now, before us, I see who's the only one who definitely needs number one. Who OBJ can be the number one for. Because you got Seattle. Seattle's got number one. They got Lockett, Tyler Lockett.
I'd probably say top 8. Anybody in the top 8?
Top eight. Okay, top 8. Top 8. My goodness. I don't know what Giants have. I don't know if they have a top wide receiver or not, but I guess I could definitely see him maybe going. I don't know how much I'll pay him, but maybe the Giants. To me, that's the only thing I can think of.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that'll be a punishment.
That'll give Daniel Jones somebody to throw to.
That'll be a punishment. That'll be a punishment worse than death. Jesus.
Man.
He'll be having arguments with kicking nets within about 5 seconds of if that happens.
And he's going to a worse
And he'll
quarterback than what
lose.
he originally. He's going to a worse quarterback than what he originally had. No offense, Eli Manning. John.
Well, I don't think he goes back to New York because although the coach changed, the ownership did not. So they did not want him there anymore. Look, he's going to throw a bitch fit 1 through 6. All right. Washington, I still don't think he's interested. Philly, Jalen Hurts isn't selling anybody, and they ain't buying right now. Seattle makes the most sense to me, man, and they'd be silly to let him go. They could have Tyler Lockett, DK, and Odell Beckham, and you really that's kind of nasty because you have a route runner, you have a massive body that cannot run routes, and then you have Tyler Lockett, who's your speedster. They lock down 3 receiver positions that are most successful, in my opinion. I don't think that he wants to play for anybody 1 through 8. He's 30 years old, 29 years old. What is he?
He just turned 29.
He's not going for a Cleveland Browns-esque team. So there goes Philly, Washington. I mean, he's not going to play for anybody that can't throw the ball. Seattle, play with Russ. I mean, that's a Hall of Famer right there. He wants to play with a Hall of Famer. The question is, can Seattle afford to pay this guy $7 million?
It's not 7, it's $1 million. It's the Browns are going
the Browns converted that money to bonus, right? And now, but you still got to pay this guy for 2022 and 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to renegotiate a contract with OBJ. So essentially you win. $1 million for any of these teams is nothing. But do they have enough money on the back end? San Francisco doesn't have it. We have to pay everybody. Seattle doesn't value offensive linemen, so there's no worries there. Seattle is his destination. I assure you, he already bought a fucking umbrella. I mean, the guy's ready to go. He will play with Russell. He's not going to play with anybody before them. There's no reason for him to.
The only question mark I would give on that, John, is the destination, Seattle. It's not exactly, as I said, it's not the most lavish of cities, is it?
You think he was living in Cleveland?
Yeah,
In the words of Joe.
All right. Your fair point. It is a bit of an upgrade to Cleveland.
That's a major
But-
upgrade. Yeah, Cleveland.
Do you think he'll play for Justin Fields?
No.
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 Nah.
No.
Nah.
All right.
No, he's
I'll
going
just
to
put it
play
out
with
there.
a proven quarterback. He wants to play with Russell. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. So
He's not going to go
the
to
only
Seattle.
reason. Yeah, Seattle's probably the only destination.
No
for
rookies, no bum quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame quarterback. He wants to play in Seattle, and they could make a run.
What team do you think is next after Seattle? If he doesn't pick Seattle, maybe us.
No,
Maybe
no, not us.
No.
2019, us. He was whispering, and he was whispering, but now, no way.
Yeah.
We have a boatload of free agents next year. It's over 20 some players to sign and to sort through. We have a quarterback controversy this year. Nobody wants any part of that shit. Nobody does.
Don't blame you.
John, you really think that OBJ wants to go be the third fiddle behind Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf?
They're going to spread the ball around.
No.
Russell will spread the ball around.
He may spread the ball around, but he's still going to be third behind those other two guys. And his attitude, that is not going to go well.
OBJ wants to be the star of the show, which is why I said the other criteria. Can he be a number one wide receiver in that system?
No.
And if he goes to Seattle,
he could take number two. He could take DK's spot. What's fucking DK done?
DK are both better than OBJ. It's not
what's DK done? What? He's not a route runner.
He's
not. He's not creative. He doesn't get separation.
But he scores.
Yeah, because he gets his big ass body in the end zone.
It's the 6 points at the end of the day, though.
You still need a third down. You still need a third and long. You still need somebody to. OBJ will get you that third down. He'll get you the third down conversion, right? Kind of like Bourne was in San Francisco. Money on third down. OBJ could sneak right in over DK. It could be the Tyler Lockett and Odell Beckham show. And DK will just be your end zone, red zone threat.
Well, I've got a possible 14.
He's got to succeed at this point, guys. He's not just gonna whittle away unless he's content with like the decent money and low production. If he's just ready to just ride the pine. Whatever.
Well, no matter what team he goes to, he's going to definitely want to get paid and definitely try to be number one.
He's not going to put his body at risk across the middle with any rookie or any bum quarterback. He's not going to be number one in a shit show. There's no gain for him there. No gain. He wants the show. He wants the light. He wants the lights.
He wants the drama. He wants the drama, I guess.
All of it. He wants it all.
Yeah.
And so
he's not that good anymore.
Because he hasn't played with. Listen, I'm telling you guys, Baker is not making anyone show out. If Russell's healthy and throwing the ball, OBJ, especially the way that Russell scrambles, it doesn't matter if you're 1, 2, or 3. He'll spread the ball. He makes no names look relevant. Who the fuck is Swain? But the fucker's getting catches.
He does look good in the Niners uniform. I'll give you that.
He's got the hair.
He does, but does he want to play? Does he want to be any part? Maybe he wants to come to San Francisco because, well, it won't be so much about the diva fucking OBJ, but more about the quarterback controversy in San Francisco that's ruining my fucking life.
Look, and also as well, Odell Beckham Jr.'s most of his family and most of his his close friends, they're all based in LA.
That's true. That's true.
You also have to put the personal things into perspective as well. This is why I say I've got 4 destinations to go. I'm not ruling out the Niners. I'm not going to rule out the Niners at all. But the first one on my list I've got is the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay? They've just lost Henry Ruggs. They're going to need someone to replace him with.
Derek Carr?
Yes. Derek Carr's playing. Derek Carr's not much better overall in part. Derek Carr is the second overall passing yards in the NFL.
Who's the third receiver in the Rams? Woods, Cup, and who?
Van Jefferson.
Jefferson. Could you see OBJ for 1 year with the Rams?
I can see it, but it all depends if
I don't
Sean
want to
McVay's
see
going to
it.
tell it. No, I don't think no one wants to see it, but I think if he does end up going, Sean McVay's got to tell him, you got to take what you are given. You can't just demand, because Cooper Kupp's our number one guy right now. Robert Woods is a very close second.
He's not going to do that.
We will fit you in, but you've got to work around us. And this is why
Kevin Durant. It'll be the Kevin Durant of football right now.
Exactly.
In week 9, walking right on to a contender and potentially making a run.
This is
it's
why
OBJ. That's an OBJ. He is going to throw a bitch fit regardless of who wants him until he lands where he wants to be.
Okay, so
he could just fucking retire and come back and play for anybody.
But see, a problem with a guy like OBJ is he thinks he wants to be there until he gets there, and not everything goes his way, and then he don't want to be there no more.
The question mark I have over the Raiders is the coach. Okay, they've got an interim head coach. No one knows who's going to be there next year, so that's completely. But Derek Carr's playing out of his mind right now. They don't have a number one receiver because Henry Ruggs is now gone, and Las Vegas. You're only an hour's flight away from LA. You're only a 4-hour drive from LA. It kind of works both ways. The other team I'll bring in is the New Orleans Saints. Michael Thomas is not going to be there now for the rest of the year. He's done, completely done. They put him on ice. Who have they got? A receiver that's going to help
Who's
Taysom Hill?
The fucking ball?
I was going to say that. I think it's either Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian.
Yeah,
So,
good luck with that. There is no way on this earth he's going to the Saints.
I don't see
there's
him
an
getting
opportunity
past
to
Seattle, you guys. I don't. Seattle.
New Orleans is
close enough.
That'll be ugly.
Yeah, New Orleans is a good place. It's a very good place. They've got an amazing coach in Sean Payton. Don't have a number one receiver. Yeah, okay, the quarterback is the only issue. And this might sound like me being a complete and utter homer, but I'm not ruling out my Patriots going after OBJ.
I don't either.
I don't
either.
Mac Jones is a rookie.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And I know Boston's not. It's a very nice city. Don't get me wrong.
Boston is beautiful, but it's still a shithole, and he ain't going there. So pipe down with your little
punch
dreams.
his teeth out.
Oh, Ryan's put his finger up there. Ryan's put his finger up there.
Punch his teeth in.
No disrespect to the show or you guys. No disrespect to all of you or the show. But I was on Up in Niners, and I seen what they're talking about Breezy, what he was saying about the Packers. If he went to the Packers, it would be Devontae Adams and him and Aaron Rodgers. He said right there, it'd be a tough team to beat.
Oil and water.
But if I was Devontae Adams, I would have a real big problem with it. Aaron Rodgers, you name me a better connection at quarterback receiver than Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams currently at this moment in time.
Can you imagine he went to Green Bay and he wouldn't throw him the ball? Can you imagine the hissy fits he'd be having on the sideline?
I think it's about making
throwing
money.
cheesehead
This is
things
why
in the crowd. He'd be going nuts.
This is why I rule out Green Bay. Yes, they got a great QB talent-wise. They've got a very good coach. Okay, they have a number one receiver, but the destination is Wisconsin. Sorry,
I wonder if Aaron Rodgers says
Cleveland is Wisconsin, especially this time of year. It's cold and it's fucking miserable. This is Wisconsin. This is Ohio, Wisconsin. Jesus Christ.
He's going to get some Rodgers rates if he goes there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He might get a starring role on Jeopardy.
I think it's all about a run for OBJ this time.
But no, as I said, I won't rule out my Patriots. I would not rule out my Patriots. We don't have a number one.
I said a run, Carl. I said a run.
You don't want him on.
He's making a run. I don't think that. Honestly, I think Belichick is probably the last guy on the list that wants OBJ's drama fucking up the psyche of his rookie at quarterback. I truly believe that Belichick is ahead of that by light years.
Didn't work with AB either, did it, in New England? And everyone said that he was going to go there and be calmed down.
Well, correction. He had one game with us, played really well, and then he had to get ousted out. So technically, it weren't our fault.
Technically,
you need an ego. You need an ego-driven quarterback and a coach that is not a pushover. You need a fucking. You need a dog, dude. You need a dog quarterback, and you need some dog in your coach to tolerate OBJ's bullshit.
Steelers,
because the Browns were better without him because Baker was forcing the ball to OBJ in circumstances that were not favorable in the Browns' favor. Many times. He does not fit there. So you need a fucking quarterback that takes zero shit from anyone. Rodgers, Brady, who else?
Big Ben.
Yeah, probably Ben. I don't see Russell's a great quarterback, Hall of Famer, but he's a fucking softie. He's a softie.
I guess I see it the opposite. I don't see him going anywhere and being productive that isn't going to kiss his ass all the time and give in to him, because the second anybody doesn't give in to him or he doesn't get his way is when he starts his drama diva shit.
You're right, but he knows those narratives right now are not going to play in his favor.
He doesn't care.
He knows it.
A guy like him does not care.
Well, and that's why a guy like him is on waiver wires right now, favorable to the Detroit Lions. Probably one of the dumbest fucking decisions he could make. Instead of coming to some form of, instead of letting Cleveland restructure him, turn that money into bonus money, and then save them $7 or $8 million to go out and get a linebacker or an offensive lineman or something that they could need. He just wanted to part ways because, well, frankly, look, dude, Baker's fucking arms fucked up. All right. They lost to the Steelers because they forced it. And now they're outside looking in at Cincinnati. So he wants the fuck out. Now he's just going to bitch and fucking moan his way down the waiver wire till he lands with someone that can win. And I believe it's Russell. I do. I just, for whatever reason, I believe that Schottenheimer, Pete Carroll, who am I missing? They can get creative with that fucker.
Yeah.
And that's scary for me.
Yeah.
Scary for the NFC West.
The NFC West already got enough fucking scary motherfuckers in it.
Yeah, there's enough fuckers in there. We don't want another one. Screw that. Right, let's do some games. Let's pick some games. Falcons versus the Saints is the first one up. Carl, choose.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints in this one. This is pretty straightforward. The Falcons were disappointed against the Panthers last week.
Not Schottenheimer. What the fuck did I say, Schottenheimer? Who's the fucking offensive coordinator in Seattle?
Don't know, don't care, don't give a shit.
I thought Pete Carroll called his own stuff. I didn't think they had an offensive coordinator.
Not Marty Schottenheimer, for fuck's sake.
Not Marty, not Murray. No.
Brian
Schottenheimer.
He was there.
There we go. Anyway, go on.
I'm taking the Saints in this one. This is pretty straightforward. So I'm taking the Saints.
Scott.
Yeah, Saints.
Nick.
And hey, go back real quick though. Go back 1 second. Speaking of the Saints, I think someone lone wolfed the Saints over the Buccaneers last week. Who was that?
Was that that was Rich Eisen? I think it was.
Oh wait.
You did. Oh, you.
Rich Eisen.
Sorry. Hang on. I'm just gonna look. Hang on. Let me have a look because I'm looking for my pages right now. Scott
is the Rich Eisen of the Shank Club now, apparently.
Holy shit, you got it. Yeah, you did. Well done. Well done.
Look who the Cats just dragged in
up,
over an hour late. Freddie just woke up late and just decided he'd pop on.
No, unfortunately, we haven't got any power.
Why?
Well, we didn't have any power. Do now.
Why are you advertising your league? Why you're advertising your League Two team that they're playing on ITV this tomorrow afternoon?
Because it's the first round of the FA Cup.
The FA Cup.
Oh,
yeah.
to remember being in the first round of the FA Cup 20 years ago. How
Yeah,
time flies when you're a quality team.
ITV in this country or ESPN in America. So
I was going to say,
John's already hooked.
No one. I say this now. No one over on Eastern time in the US is going to wake up at 7:15 in the morning to watch Plymouth Argyle. Okay, it's
John's
already setting his alarm. I can see.
I watch this shit every.
John's got football
day.
on. He's all right.
I watch every morning. But
that's
not for nothing. I'm going to tell you guys something. Mahomie the GOAT thinks I'm hilarious. Isn't that your brother?
No, it's his burner account.
No, that's his brother. You guys got to tune into their show. It's kind of funny.
How
They were in a Walmart parking lot claiming to go to the game the other night on Monday night. I was like, dude, are they in Walmart parking lot right now? And then he got out. He's like, this is a hell of a Walmart. I was like, oh, yeah, that's Arrowhead, all right.
How is Mr. Not So Smug doing these days? Now his team's worse than the Steelers and his fantasy team's getting ripped apart by mine.
Fantasy team, aren't you 4-4 and I'm 5-3?
I'm playing you this week and I'm absolutely smashing you to pieces.
You think so?
Absolutely. Jonathan Taylor's already set me halfway there.
Target.
I think Christian McCaffrey comes back this week, right?
Yeah, he does.
No!
Yeah, McCaffrey's back.
No, I'm doing good, and we're going to find out how much better the Steelers are than the Chiefs December 26th at Arrowhead Stadium, Freddie.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that one. I will be.
If
John
Ben,
B,
if
you
ben,
got...
if Ben Roethlisberger can make it that far.
Big shout out, CG Ruthless Sports.
I went on a whole. I got us distracted there. I digressed on the Saints against the Buccaneers. Saints, Falcons.
JD, Falcons, Saints. Who you got?
Falcons.
Ooh, saucy. Ryan.
Falcon.
John.
Oh boy. Who's the quarterback for Saints now? What is it again?
I think it's going to be
Simeon.
Is it Simeon or Taysom Hill?
No, I think he's already announced Simeon is going to start.
Yeah, Simeon's going to start. I remember seeing that now. Yeah. Oh God, I really don't want to go against Ryan, but he let me down last week. He let me down, man. I thought he was going to beat the freaking Panthers. Thought for sure, but yeah, I got the Saints. I'll go for the Saints. His dome is dome, so yeah.
Nick,
Saints.
Plymouth Argyle Sunday 12:15 on ITV. Who have you got?
See, I always bring the laughs, no matter what my name is. I'll get a laugh. So no, Saints for me.
And I am going to go for the Saints as well. So it means we have John V with the lone wolf. Ooh. More like a cheese. Get your dog in there to do your lone wolf.
What was that?
What the fuck did you want?
That's some rah-rah shit, that was.
It was a dead donkey.
Even I made an effort. Jesus.
I'm a young cub.
Sounds like someone on your foot.
Wait, what the fuck do they call those baby wolves?
Cubs.
Cubs, yeah, baby Cubs.
Baby Cubs, yeah.
That's the first one I've ever had to do on the show in 2 years.
A cub is a
There you go.
Even the dog in the background got it better.
There you go.
He's doing it for me.
Broncos
He said,
Cowboys.
where is that little bitch ass puppy dog hat?
Broncos Cowboys, Mr. Argyle, 12:15 on Sunday.
Dallas all day long.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cowgirls.
Ryan?
Like Nick just said, Cowgirls. Yeah.
Wolf Cub.
I too have the Cowboys.
Mr. Smug.
It's a pup. It's a wolf pup. It's a canine. Speak.
Oh,
Sorry, David Attenborough.
Yeah, no, Cowboys, definitely.
Fuck
I'm
it.
gonna
I'm
laugh
going
when
to show John how
the
to, I'm going to
Falcons
show
beat
John
fucking
how to
New
do
Orleans.
a proper lone wolf. I
Don't
am
do-
going to go Broncos.
you
Why?
muppet.
No,
Why?
don't go Broncos.
Why?
No.
He won't pick the Cowgirls. You know he won't.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
That's true.
fuck.
That's true.
Nick said
Yeah, but
he
Dak
hates
is
Cowboys, so
healthy.
who would never
Yeah.
go Cowboys?
There's a better chance of him picking the Sea Bitches.
If there's a lot
No
of money
chance
on
of
it,
picking
Nick's
either of
taking
those
Cowboys. I promise you that. If there's a lot of money on the table, we are going Cowboys.
You've never ever touched the Denver Broncos at the moment. No way.
I
Just
would
to show you,
say
just to show you what the spread is on the Cowboys, they're -9.5.
I knew
So-
that. And it's probably gonna and that's is that at Dallas?
Yeah.
So it's actually 6, right? 6.5. Because they give the home team 3.
yeah, they always give the home.
ESPN up to the 10.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's because
Yep.
Dak is probably
But it
confirmed
does
playing.
say Denver has won 6 straight games versus the Cowgirls.
Really?
Yeah. But they also
That's
have no
interesting.
There's no Von Miller anymore either.
He wasn't making much of a difference to begin with.
Are you going to make me lone wolf, Carl? I presume you are.
Hang on. No, the dead horse is still not dead yet. Taking the Cowboys. Off you go.
Oof, oof. There you go. That's a lone
You
wolf.
even had the breath going there, man, like the National Geographic wolf out in the wild.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yes.
Not surprised. It's fucking freezing where I am.
You put your green screen up in the woods.
I am. Deliverance country up here, I tell you.
Jesus Christ.
Feel
How
like
much,
a pig,
when do
boy.
you get warm weather? I feel like every time we're on this fucking thing, Nick's in the Arctic.
We
We
don't.
live in the UK. We live in a cold country, okay?
We get a week's worth of
Jesus.
sun and it's like 40 degrees and roasting, and then the rest of the year is shit. And that's if we're lucky. Patriots, Panthers. Carl, McCaffrey returning for the Panthers. Darnold maybe back at QB.
We'll find out 9 p.m. Eastern tonight if McCaffrey is back. That's what I've seen from me and Rappaport. No, I'm taking the Patriots. The Panthers, they started really well. They had 3 good wins. Now they've fallen to shit. And yes, okay, they beat the Falcons, but that's not exactly something to write home about. So I'm taking my team.
Spoken like a true homer. Panthers for me. Scott.
I'll take the Patriots. They just beat the Chargers. The they're a better team than the Panthers right now, even with Christian McCaffrey.
JV.
I'm going to take the Pats.
Ryan.
This game, the Patriots are favored by 3.5 points. I don't think it's going to be higher than that. I got the Patriots.
Oh,
Nick.
man, I got to tell you, Vegas is rarely wrong.
Who's the home team?
Carolina.
I'm going to take the Panthers. I don't think the Pats are that good.
Oh, did you see those eyebrows raised then? Look at that. And he's got a little
the
smirk
Pats.
on his face as
They're
well up in
cold,
the old
man.
corner. Look at him. Plymouth.
Stephon Gilmore is going to get burned 125 yards by Kendrick fucking Bourne. All right, it's as simple as that.
Carl already knows which way I'm going. I'm going with the Pink Panthers.
What the fuck?
Split decision then. I like it. Vikings, Ravens. I'll start this one. Ravens. because the plexiglass is going to get in the way when Kirk Cousins tries to throw the ball. And if you weren't here earlier, you wouldn't get the joke. But I get the joke.
I think
Carl?
this is a toughie.
Ravens coming off a bye week, and since Lamar Jackson has been the starting QB for Baltimore, he is 11-0 against all NFC teams. Taking the Ravens.
Scott?
I sat on this show last week and bragged up the Vikings and talked about how the Vikings were sneaky and how good they were. And then they went out there and they lost to the Cowboys, who had the guy that serves me my smoothies down at the Jamba Juice fucking playing quarterback somehow. Cooper Rush. Unbelievable, man. The Vikings. Unfucking
400 yards on that defense. He's actually in the Hall of Fame because of that game, Scott. Way to go.
I know, right?
So is Mike White.
Right.
Oh, you know what?
He's now
You're wrong.
He's now the mayor of New York,
Mike
White.
Mike White made the Hall of Fame. That's right.
Yeah, and for the Jets anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Which ain't hard nowadays.
So,
but
Cooper
I digress.
Rush would have been next with another 5 minutes.
All that said, I still think the Vikings are a pretty decent team. I just don't fucking get why they keep losing these games.
It's in their it's in their genes, it's in their blood. They do it on
Right.
every given fucking day. So who you taking?
I still want to pick the Vikings. I don't. I'm just not sold on the Ravens, but I can't do it. I just can't keep doing it. I'm going to pick the Ravens. Even though I don't really want him.
Hold on,
He
common sense
pulled himself back from the abyss there of almost picking Kirk
Common sense-
fucking Cousins.
I almost
Common
did
sense.
it again.
Common sense prevailed there.
JV.
Well, man. What's the spread?
Don't care about the spread. Lamar Jackson's undefeated against NFC teams.
Stats are stats. Those
Yeah,
things
records
change.
are there to be broken, to be fair.
That's true. I mean, I'm gonna. Mike Zimmer always looks like he's
Old.
shocked. He always looks like he's like he was just beamed to earth, and he's just like on the sideline steady. He's always got that wide eye look. Like it's
He's
the
fucking-
strangest look ever, right?
Fucking beady eye is what he is.
If he isn't replaced by the end of the season, I don't know who the fuck is. I definitely have the Ravens winning this one though.
Well, the heat that was on Shanahan last week, you'd have thought he'd have been the first one that was going to be canned, but all that changes with a win, obviously. Ryan.
He was getting in his own way.
It all depends whose defense plays better out of this one, I think. So, and I know Lamar, he does RPOs a lot. And I know we all know that Kirk Cousins don't do that. So I got the Ravens.
Nick.
Ravens.
Plymouth.
Well, I'd want to go against the AFC North team, but I can't on this one. The Vikings have lost Daniel Hunter for the season, and their defense was utterly dreadful against Cooper Rush. So they're not going to stop Lamar Jackson. So Ravens all the way.
Bungles and the Brownies. Probably one of the most unwatchable games in the 6 o'clock slate. Especially
I think that's harsh.
I'll stop you there. No.
Bungles.
This now has got more intrigue to it now Odell Beckham Jr. is fucked off. So
Well, no, because you want him on the sideline having a hissy fit because it will take away the thing that it could be a really poor 6-9 game or something like that.
it won't be a poor 6-9 game.
No,
It won't be. Nah.
Okay. All right. So come on then, ITV. Who have you picking?
Oh, well, it's. I wish it was a tie, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to go with the Bengals purely because I want to see the Browns fall apart a little bit more than they have already. And obviously, being an LSU fan, I do have a bit of a soft spot for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So that gets me over the clowns who I hope fall apart and never come anywhere near the division again. They're overrated. Baker Mayfield is not very good, as I keep saying week in, week out, and get backlash all the time. I don't care. He's not very good. The only thing that's good about that team is the run game and the offensive line. The defense was shown to be frauds last week, as did the Bengals defense. So,
whoa. Did you just say, hang on. Did you say the Browns were frauds last week against the Steelers?
On defense.
They stopped.
Yeah.
Well, they only gave up 15 points. Any defense that gives up 15 points a game is actually pretty good.
We didn't have a kicker for half the game, so that was another.
You don't have a quarterback. You don't have a quarterback either. So
exactly, and they still lost. Didn't have a quarterback, didn't have a kicker, and still lost the game. Not our fault.
Shots fired by Carl.
I was going to say, Ivan's on his driving down to come and shake you warmly by the throat after that assault.
Carl can shoot what he likes, but his team are at 500 and we're not.
You haven't had your bye. Yeah, you have had your bye week actually. Yeah, sorry.
Nick,
but Bengals.
Yeah, Burrow's Jamar Chase too much. Bengals win this.
Ryan.
Crash keyboard.
Mixon's playing, right? Mixon, he's in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I got Bengals. Yeah, I got the Bengals. Joe Burrow.
JV.
Bengals.
Mr. Smug.
The Bengals are one of those teams. They're like the Falcons. Every time I pick them, they lose, and every time I pick against them, they win. I can never fucking get the Bengals right. How they lost last week to the Jets is it's unfucking believable. I mean, if they lose to the Jets, they can lose to the Browns. But I think the Browns are making a mistake by playing Mayfield hurt, and they need to get that situation taken care of. So I'm going to go with the Bengals again, completely confident that they'll end up losing somehow.
Yeah, I've got to take the Bengals. I was gonna say a tie, but no, I'm going to come off the fence, and I'll say Jamar Chase and Burrow do enough. So I'm going Bengals. Oh. To Carl. Oh, he is. Sorry, I thought you were playing statues or something. Sorry.
No. I was playing statues, so I was okay. I was just clearing my phone.
You just shit yourself. Wait, why are you howling?
Because I'm taking the Browns to beat the Bengals. Last year, when Odell Beckham Jr. went down injured, Baker Mayfield's stats was 20 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. He is better. His yards per game is better than OBJ. His passing rate is better against OBJ. His QBR is better than OBJ. They're going to use the running game a lot. They're going to use the running game, and they're going to use him on third down. Okay? Baker Mayfield is competent when he has not had OBJ in the lineup. This is why I say he is better without OBJ.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's why OBJ wanted out. He put the blinders on to OBJ, man. They weren't even giving him the ball. OBJ just draws separation. He spreads the defense. You know, he was more of like a decoy out there than he was a fucking receiver.
You don't think
Landry lost them the game last week with 3 drops, dude?
Okay, fine, but they've still got Rashad Higgins to get separation with. They've still got Donovan Peoples-Jones to get separation with. They've still got David Njoku. They've still got Austin
those
Hooper.
Guys are coming off injury. Baker, Landry, Peoples-Jones, and Cincinnati's got the better Higgins out of the 2. So I believe that Cincinnati wins this one, and probably convincingly.
Well, I made my bed. I'll lie in it. So, I'm choosing the Browns.
No,
I'm not going to convince you otherwise.
It was better when it was silent, to be honest.
A lot of what Carl is saying, I agree with. I do. Carl's on to something there. I would not be surprised if the Browns won the game. And John, I saw something. I wish I could remember exactly, but when OBJ was healthy and on the field, he had more targets than all of the other receivers, and he had dropped half of them. This idea that he wasn't giving them the ball is just. I don't think that's accurate. He just wasn't catching it because he's a shadow of the receiver he used.
he was injured the majority of wasn't he having setbacks with his knee or something this year, beginning of the season, or no?
Yeah, he did. He came back. He had the ACL surgery towards the middle or early of last season, so it hadn't even been a full year yet when this season started and he started playing.
All right.
And in fairness to OBJ, though, Baker's throws to him weren't always all that accurate either. So
I understand. But a 50% catch rate is still terrible regardless.
it is, yeah. It's very bad.
Right, next game, and I'll be very, very surprised if anyone is picking the Jaguars to beat the Bills. Are we all agreed it's the Bills? No one's picking the Jag.
No.
Carl's turned into like one of those Alexa things over there. Like a little walk-up, and he's got the little sound thing going on.
I'm trying to eat my Subway, and that's why I'm got off camera to take a bite. So.
Turn my call skill. Come on, Joe, give me a break. I'm waiting for you to get off messages from
Carl Powers there. He is the Subway lot. How terrible is that?
Get in my belly.
So no one picking the Jags. No, clean sweep.
Nah.
Talking of shit fests, Texans Dolphins. Now I said that Cleveland versus thingy could be a boring game. I lied. My God. What time's that on? It's bound to be a 6 p.m. Yeah, it is 6 p.m.
6
that's definitely not going to be watching. I would rather, if that was the only game I could watch, or Red Zone, I'd much rather watch Red Zone. That's how terrible this game could be. Houston apparently has won 8 of the last 9 games versus Miami.
That was with Deshaun Watson.
I am going to 1-7, both of them. My God, that is a basement battle.
This is round 1 of the Tank Bowl.
I honestly,
this is the equivalent of mine and Carl's fantasy team.
Exactly. This is the shit show bowl. Exactly. So does that make you the Texans then, John, or would you rather be the Dolphins?
Take your fucking pick. Either way, it's a shit show. Either way.
Hell.
It's a dumpster fire.
I really don't know which one to pick because they're both just as bad as each other. Oh dear. I'm going to go last. I just can't pick. So I'm going to go tactical just in case I have to do a lone wolf. Subway boy, who do you pick?
This is just so shit.
See, you just can't pick it, can you?
This one's easy.
Yeah, I think it's easy too.
Texans.
All right. Mr. Smug?
Dolphins.
Nick?
I say I'm torn on this one. I'm going to go Dolphins. I don't think even Tyrod Taylor coming back and save them.
Ryan?
Miami Dolphins are 5.5 favorite, of course, because they're home. So, yeah, I got Dolphins, yeah.
And the Dolphins are far more talented.
Yeah.
JV?
The Dolphins have more playmakers. Dolphins for sure. I'm going Dolphins.
ITV?
Parker's on IR, as are most of the. Well, it feels like the Finns should be all on IR. They've been that useless. Tyrod's back and he looked competent before he got injured. I'm going with the Texans.
So we won't have a lone wolf situation, which is interesting. I'm picking the Dolphins because I prefer their uniforms, and that's the only reason I pick it. They look visually better than the Texans. Visually, not play and not skill, but they just look nicer. There you go. That's my reason. Oh, my God. Raiders Giants. We all know I'm definitely not going to pick the Raiders ever, so that's my vote. ITV.
I'm going to go with the Giants on this one. Yeah, they were utterly useless on Monday Night Football and really should have beaten the Chiefs. Sorry, Mr. Smug. But they didn't take their chances and ended up losing the game. But the Raiders, at some point, all the catastrophes and calamities are going to have to catch up with them. So this feels like a trap game. So I'm going with the Giants.
Giants. Okay. Nick?
I'm going to go with Faders, but Pettis to throw for 3 TDs as well.
Ryan?
Scott, Giants were that close to beating them last week. Beating Chiefs. They're that close, man. I seen that game too. I couldn't believe it. I thought Giants were going to pull it off. I thought they were. But, I thought I'd be the only one going for the Giants. I was surprised about that. I really was. So I got Giants. Yeah, I'm going for the Giants. That's my upset of the week anyway.
JV?
Oh, fuck. Look, the fact of the matter is that Daniel Jones is shit. He sucks. The defense in New York is what kept them in the game against fucking scrambled eggs Kansas City Chiefs over there. So that wasn't even their best performance. And it might have been the defense's best performance in New York. So I think I'm going to go Raiders. I don't believe that I think the Giants defense is good, but Daniel Jones is not good enough to beat the defense in Las Vegas. I don't buy it. So I'm going Raiders.
Mr. Smug?
The Giants are they're a team that their defense can play pretty decent, and they've got a running game. And I fucking hate the Raiders, so I'm gonna pick the Giants.
See? Sometimes the stars align and me and Scott agree on things. Not very often. And talking about not agreeing, the best tight end in football is back tomorrow, by the way, Scott. And I don't mean your boy.
Eric Ebron.
No.
The guy that hasn't scored a touchdown in over a year?
That's because he's been injured. Carl.
And
Giants defense held Chiefs to 20 points, but that was closer than what it should be. This game is going to be nowhere near close. Taking the Raiders, they're going to put on a show.
I think so too.
Make a change.
Raiders lost to the Bears a couple weeks ago. Don't forget that.
Yeah, but Derek Carr, was he in that game?
Yeah, he's not. He's played all
Yeah,
season.
he was.
They're not that
It
good.
was.
Yeah.
The Raiders are not bad, aren't they? Don't they have 5 wins right now in the season?
Yeah, they're 5-2.
Yeah, they're gonna beat the fucking Giants. The Giants might have actually injured Sterling Shepard
Let's not
week.
forget though that 2 of those wins were at home in overtime, and one of those was against the Jacoby Brissett-led Dolphins. So they're
The Dolphins' uniforms looked a lot better than the Raiders in that stadium.
Right. Yeah,
That stadium
exactly.
that stadium is
The
fucking
Raiders needed
awesome.
overtime to beat the fucking Dolphins. Give me a break.
Yeah, but the Dolphins weren't the Dolphins as of week 9 when that happened.
What I want to know is how come Mr.
Yes,
Smug
the Raiders-
can have
the
2 of
Raiders
his
do
burner
suck.
accounts and tweet and put messages in at the same time?
That's Bo. That's got to be Bo, right?
Yeah, that's probably Bo.
So, look, the Raiders do suck, and I don't fucking like the Raiders at all, but they're not my problem in the Bay Area anymore, so tough shit.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
But I
this
will
is
tell
gonna-
you this. I think Sterling Shepard got injured Monday night. Yeah?
Yep.
Who the fuck is Daniel Jones going to miss throwing the ball to? Who's he going to attempt
Kadarius
to throw the
Toney.
ball to? I mean, Daniel
Kadarius-
Jones is shit. He's holding that team back.
He threw one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen in my entire life.
There you go.
In the
Right there.
to Willie Gay, the linebacker on the Chiefs. Like I couldn't even see it was on my. I couldn't even see any Giants player anywhere in the vicinity that he was throwing the ball to. Like he literally threw it right to the linebacker 3 yards in front of him.
Raiders threatened to kill someone on social media. That sounds about right. I mean, that's not really outside of their identity. They kill people in the bathrooms, or they make threats on social media.
I didn't have the sound up, but apparently, and I sort of saw the tweet, he's waving a handgun or a submachine gun around, threatening to kill someone.
That's exactly who I expect the Raiders to be. I mean, that's who they are.
Stay classy. This next game could be quite interesting for a couple of reasons. Chargers, Eagles. Chargers defense have allowed 159.4 rush yards per game this season.
Big game coming
to you or what, man?
Yeah, big game coming up for Boston, Scott and Jordan Howard probably.
I'm going to go Eagles on this one. Mr. ITV.
Oh, this is a tough one. The Chargers have, well, they had that bad loss to the Ravens pre-bye week. Then they came back from the bye week and got outclassed by the Patriots at home. I don't know. As you say, and to stop Carl laughing and being all smug, the Patriots are still frauds. No, they're not. They're all right, a decent team. But the Chargers can't stop anything on the run game, and the Eagles only needed Jalen Hurts to throw 9 passes, and they scored 40-odd points against the fantastic Detroit Lions last week.
Yeah, but that's a lie. That's the Lions. The Chargers defense is a bit better in the past.
But I reiterate the point that the Eagles. That was my point, was to say that the Eagles' run game is good enough to beat even the crappy teams like the Lions. But I'm going to go with the Eagles, but I'm a little bit questionable because we're due a big Justin Herbert week.
I can't believe I picked the fucking Lions to get off the schneid last week. I don't know what.
You weren't the only one.
I can't. I don't know.
What is the schneid?
Shithole.
The toilet?
Yep.
Shithole. Okay.
Yep.
The throne.
Indeed. The throne of sleaze. Oh, no, that's New England. Nick.
I don't think the Chargers are going to be shit 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to go with Chargers.
Ryan?
Okay, ESPN has friggin' Chargers 1.5 over the Eagles. Eagles are at home. What is the difference between? I don't know. Get that? Why are the Chargers favorites?
That's not good. You would not bet that game. That's one to stay away from.
Yeah. I mean,
if the home team gets 3 points, so that's
yeah. That's why I don't get that, because I know the Eagles are home, but it's 1.5 favorite for the Chargers. That's why I don't get that. So, and Nick knows me. I will never go to Eagles. Smeagles, but I got Chargers. I'll go for Chargers.
JV.
Wednesday, he took Murray off time just to protect
Mr. Smug.
I'm getting to the point where I hate the Chargers almost as much as I hate the fucking Broncos and the Raiders at this point. I'm getting so sick and tired of this shit hearing people say that Justin Herbert is the new Mahomes and he's better than Mahomes, and Jimmy Johnson's dumbass talking about, I'd take Justin Herbert over Patrick Mahomes in a redraft of the league and all this fucking nonsense. I'm gonna take the Eagles. I'm starting to hate the fucking Chargers. They're overrated. They're not as good as everybody thinks they are. They've gotten exposed the last couple of weeks. That defense is terrible, especially against the run. I'm gonna take the Eagles. I'm gonna roll with Nick.
Can I just say, I think Justin Herbert is the new Patrick Mahomes. Carl?
I think he's better.
I digress. Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers in this one. I think coming off that bad loss last week to my team, they're going to want something to prove. The Raiders have just come off their bye. They need to keep the heat on them. They need to try and stay away from Kansas City. So I think for the Chargers, this could be must win. So I'm going to pick the Chargers to have this one.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, I think I said last week, the last 2 times I've seen the Chargers, they've really disappointed me. But that, as I've said, I'm picking the Eagles purely based on the run game, and their QB. Obviously, he can scramble and stuff. So Packers versus Chiefs. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is out. We all know which way I'm picking, so I'll just come out and say it. Packers. Cole?
I'm going to take the surprise. This is my shock of the week. I'm taking Packers to beat the Chiefs.
But the burner account has just said, let's go, just as you said that. So, Mr. Smug.
Well,
Patrick Mahomes versus Jordan Love. I like that matchup. Chiefs get another game at home at Arrowhead. Chiefs win.
All I can say is I hope the people that are in the front row all the way round, put their drinks down when Kansas are on offense in case Mahomes hits them with a pass that's meant for Tyreek Hill and it goes through his hands and knocks someone out. So there's a tip for all the people that are sitting in the front row. When the Chiefs are on offense, put your drinks down in case you get smacked in the face by a ball. Nick?
Yeah. This isn't another Mike White situation. The Packers are not going to win this game, I don't think. Chiefs.
We absolutely dismantled
Ryan?
Chiefs are 7-point favorites, and they're home 3-1. No Aaron Rodgers. All depends what Jordan Love does. So I'm going for you, Scott. I'm going for your team this week. Hope they don't let me down.
What was the spread while Rodgers would have been playing? Did you see what it was before he?
No, I didn't see. No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that.
Because that does seem a lot. I know.
Yeah, it does.
Sorry, Scott.
4 points.
4.
Aaron Rodgers is 4 points favorites.
Yeah.
Right. JV. You're on mute. JV.
Damn it! I got the Chiefs. I don't believe that Jordan Love can man the offense. I just don't believe it. And I believe that the Chiefs have to make a big statement that they can get on the same page against a decent defense, a good defense. So this should be their trial.
Mr.
Come on,
ITV.
you know you want to.
Packers by a mile. But I don't really get Nick's comment in that it's going to be another Mike White situation. Jordan Love's the first round quarterback. It's not like he's just some mug off the street. He's a decent player who's had over a year in the Packers system now. He's a bit of an unknown, so we don't know what we're going to get. But in terms of talent-wise, the Packers' defense is a lot better than the Chiefs' defense. And offensively, the Packers have got the weapons. Devontae Adams is back, and Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon can run all over the Chiefs. So, yeah, I'm going with the Packers all day long on this game.
As we, talking about that, and he sat behind Aaron Rodgers. I think this is his second year. Could he be the new Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love? Can we say that, or do you think he's going to be compared to
But we haven't seen enough of him to know. So, but I don't.
No, but the good thing is, I know that
do you see
really.
Jordan Love throwing for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns his first season?
No.
He's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to now.
But you see, the reason why I say that is because I know it grinds Scott's gears when anyone is compared to be the new Patrick Mahomes. So even though Jordan Love hasn't played, he's the new Patrick Mahomes. I
don't know why people compare to Patrick Mahomes. They should be comparing to Mike White. If you want,
they certainly won't be comparing him to Ben Roethlisberger. That's for sure. But
well, there we go. Well, none of them have won 2 Super Bowls. So
Titans, Rams. Now,
easy.
Obviously, we discussed a bit earlier about this, the fact that Derrick Henry is now out, and they've obviously brought AP in. The way the Rams are playing, I think they looked a bit vulnerable last week, but I don't want to pick the Rams. I can't pick the Rams. Their streak has got to break somehow, some way. And the Niners need a break. So I'm going Titans. Carl?
No Derrick Henry. No matchup. This is the Rams.
JV had to get off camera because he couldn't actually say that
But he has
team. He put his vote in by proxy. He did a postal vote. Scott?
Yeah, Rams are legit. They're right up there. They're the best, if not the second best team in the NFC. And the Titans shown that they are up and down, and now that they don't have Derrick Henry, that's, obviously a huge blow to them. It's not just the running game. It's how much their offense and their passing game depends on the threat of the run and the play action. And Rams easily in this one.
Nick?
Yeah, I desperately want a Titans victory, but I can't see past the Lambs.
Better start warming my voice up, I think. Ryan?
Yeah, Rams are 7-point favorites in this one because they're home. And no Derrick Henry for Titans. And they're going to be using a lot of Ryan Tannehill. I don't think AP is going to do anything. I mean, I don't know. What was the last team he played for anyway? Was
Lions.
It Vikings? Lions? What did he do there?
He was okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I know our division's way out of reach for us. So I'm right now focused on the wild card. So I got the Rams. I go for Rams. I got the Rams.
Are you going to save me, Mr. ITV, or do I need to get ready to wolf it?
Well, this is the last one I can do before I disappear, but I'm going with the Rams by a mile in this one. No, I can't back the Titans without Derrick Henry. I'll listen to your wolf howl and then I'll get out of here.
Did you say you got to hop off, Freddie?
I have, yeah.
Right, too quickly then. You're going to take the Steelers, I take it.
Yeah, I'm not taking the Chicago Bears in Heinz Field.
Well, you never know. Niners, Arizona.
Ooh.
And bearing in mind, I have got the remove button poised.
Thing is, I went with the Cardinals on Carl's show, but
Hit it!
but only just because I'm not particularly sold on the Cards. Is Kyler Murray confirmed as playing? Do we know?
No. Game time decision, apparently.
Game time decision.
We know what the injury reports are like. I don't believe them half the time.
I've got to stick with what I said earlier in the week, but it's a close one. I'm going with Cardinals, and I'll see you all guys in a bit.
See you later. Cheers, Freddie. Take care, mate.
Peace, Freddie.
Too late. I kicked his ass out once he said that. Carl.
Right, if any of you is
Bears.
Steelers Bears. Matt Nagy is back. He's off his COVID. He's off the COVID list now. So you're gonna get back to the same limp-wristed, pathetic offensive play calling that you didn't see from last week. Steelers weren't very convincing. But I have to go with the Steelers defense to make Justin Fields' life a living nightmare. So, yeah, I've got to go with the Steelers.
I mean, I was impressed with Justin Fields. It was just unfortunate the game kind of got out of hand last week, obviously, against the Niners. But that running touchdown he scored where he evaded all those tackles and he was almost in the grass and he wasn't, did a few spins. I like what I saw, but I just cut it up. That Steelers defense is going to eat him alive, I'm afraid. And I think it could be 2 or 3 scores. I don't know if Mack is back for Chicago or not.
And Hicks. Well, they need him and Hicks back as well if they're going to have any chance of stopping Najee Harris.
I just can't see that Bears offense putting points up against that defense. And Sam Highsmith's boy and obviously TJ Watt coming off the air, I think they're going to kill him. So yeah, I can only go with the Steelers win. As much as it pains me to say it, because I fucking hate the Steelers, I'm going for a Steelers win. Carl, what about you?
Yeah, I'm taking Steelers.
Scott?
Yeah, Steelers. I can't figure them out. I don't think they're that good. They've caught some breaks. They've won some games. You know, the Browns playing an injured Baker Mayfield, and they caught them without Kareem Hunt. And they don't look that good to me. But the Bears also don't appear to be, you know, anything special either. So I'm just going to pick the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. That offense of the Steelers, I know Harris has made a big difference, and he has. But the passing game doesn't look any different, does it? Doesn't look, the offense in general, apart from they've got a running back, doesn't look any different from last year when they were awful and the defense kept them in. And it just doesn't seem to have changed. See, John V can't even say the Steelers either because he's had to do that as well by postal vote. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Nick?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be taking anyone other than the Steelers in this, really, are they?
They won them last one in 1959 and 1960.
Not really.
No. Ryan, who have you got? Steelers?
Steelers at home, 6.5 favorites. And you know what temperature is going to be probably at a Steelers game? Do you know or no? Temperature now. I bet it's going to be cold. It's in Pittsburgh, so it's probably cold, just like for Chicago. So I got Steelers. I'll go for Steelers.
Yeah, I think when you get two teams playing like this, the weather doesn't really become a factor per se, does it? Right, last game was always 49ers, resurgent. Jimmy G is back. Elijah Mitchell back. Unfortunately, lost Jimmy Ward to injury. We don't know the status of, obviously, 2 foot high Kyler Murray. We don't know if D-Hop's going to play. Not that he's been that, half the time on one leg. He's better than a lot of the receivers in this league. Arizona have scored 30-plus points in each of the last 4 road games this season. I don't know. They played the last 4 games, so I don't know. I'm always going to pick the Niners, but I'm interested in what other guys are going to say. Carl, what do you think?
I've got the 49ers taking this one. Jimmy G had a very productive game last week. 322 yards passing. He rushed for 2 touchdowns, not passed, rushed for 2 touchdowns. That was shocking to me because it's like, oh, Trey Lance does all that sort of thing. Oh, guess what? I could do that as well. So that's probably a stick 2 fingers up to Trey Lance on that one there. Elijah Mitchell, again, 6th round steal. 6th round steal completely. Mitchell's just playing outstanding. Deebo Samuel was playing like a god at this minute in time. This all depends on if Murray is playing, and so too is DeAndre Hopkins. Because if they're playing, it's going to make the game very, very close. I trust the Niners defense more than what I do Arizona's defense. So, yeah, I'm going to take the 49ers.
That's the quickest leaf picker-uppering I think we've ever witnessed, JV. Because you put anything on clearing the leaves
fucking
and then
terrible.
You're back.
Man.
What's your thoughts on it?
This is going to be. This is just. There's so many different variations that this like. Is Kyler playing? Is Kyler going to be better than hurt? Like, is he injured? Is he going to be slower? We contained him pretty well. We held the Cards to 17. We also don't have Deebo, or maybe we will. I don't know. We do get George back. I don't know. Listen, I got the Niners obviously winning this one. To give you a little bit of a score prediction, I feel like it could be 10-14 Niners win. So 14-10.
So we do have Robbie Gould returning off of IR as well, which could make a difference because Joey Sly obviously has been a bit up and down. So could be interesting. Scott, who have you got?
Must be bad when you're in the FA.
I think the Cardinals are just a little bit too much for the 49ers this year. Niners defense, they did hold down the Cardinals when they played them, but I just don't see where the 49ers make enough plays on offense to hang with the Cardinals. So I'll take Arizona in a fairly close game.
You see, you should just do like me when you don't want to pick my team. Just say fuck it, I can never pick them. Instead of trying to give a valid argument, just say fuck it, I'm never picking the Niners.
No, I picked the Niners last week.
Yeah, but that was because you had one arm up your back and someone was, yanking it back and trying to break your arm. Nick, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm always going to take the Niners. Of course I am. I'm going to be a homer in that respect. It's obviously going to depend quite heavily on what's happening with Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins, but I think there's no J.J. Watt. We've also got the possibility of having Jeff Wilson Jr. back. I'd quite like to see if he can get a bit of up the middle from Jeff there. Maybe try and take some of the load off Elijah Mitchell because he's just been phenomenal. I think they showed his stats during the week as well. Running behind left tackle, his stats are insane, absolutely insane. Near enough 95% of his yards have come running wide left, and that's only going to get a boost if he's got George Kittle blocking for him as well. So. Yeah, I'm quite hopeful of this, and it's nice to have a little bit of hope after the shit show of a season so far.
Makes a change, doesn't it, to have some hope? That's the good thing about it. Ryan, what's the spread, etc.? Yes, we know who you're picking. I want to know what the spread is.
I know I'm picking already. So, but my thoughts on the game though, I'll tell you right now. It's going to be so good having George Kittle back. I hope he's 100%. Hope he is. Jeff Wilson Jr. to help out Mitchell, and having Trent Williams back in the line, I hope he does good too. But they're talking about Debo being on the side of the field. We're doing sprints and stuff. So I hope that calf is healed up good for him to play good. And then on the other side of Arizona, I've seen Kyler Murray and D Hop not practice all week. That's saying something right there. Saying something, but it's a game time decision for them. So basically, I'm going for, and my score prediction is going to be like weird, but
What's the spread on the game, Ryan? Have you got the spread there?
Oh, I just took it off too. I thought we were done talking about it. Sorry, my bad.
That's okay.
Sorry. 1 second. Yeah, my phone's faster now. Of course, I got a brand new phone. Yeah, we're at home. 2.5, 2.5.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, let's. So, did anyone lone wolf that? I think Scott did. Didn't he?
Scott did. Scott led the lone wolf.
See, you spend all that money on that lovely house of yours just to put high ceilings in because you knew you were going to be lone wolfing on this show. JV's got to run. Let everyone know where they can follow you, what your podcast and all that sort of thing is. Just let everyone know before you disappear.
Guys, at John V, at the Locker Room Rant, that's where you can find me and a few of my buddies talk the league. Guys, it's been a pleasure. My final thoughts are let's go Niners. Let's win this one. Let's get back in the driver's seat and make a run for the playoffs. There's about 5 or 6 spots that are screaming our name, and I believe we can lock down one of them if we play our game. Outside of that, guys, it's always a pleasure. Scott, Nick, Ryan, Carl, you guys have a great day. Be safe. Go Niners.
Go Niners, John V. Nice seeing you again, man.
Nice to see you, John.
Always a pleasure, fellas. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Take care, John.
See you, John.
There you go. So that's all the games picked. Final thoughts, Cole. Let everyone know where they can follow you, find you, and take it away.
So you can find me on Twitter at TFIBUK20. YouTube channel is 2 Feet and Bounds. We have just had our preview show, so our pick 'em show with myself, Freddie, and our special guest Simon Carroll from the touchdown.co.uk. We made our picks for week 9. We are on Twitch as well. TFIBUK20 is our username. We're on all major podcast platforms on iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. And go Patriots! Let's finally get above 500. Let's go and put on the menu pan-seared panther.
Scott, let everyone know what your podcast is, where they can find you, and your final thoughts.
You can find me individually, myself, at this Mr. Rodgers on Twitter. You can find my show with my brother and my buddy, Bo and Nick, at The Kingdom Cast on all social media platforms, YouTube channel as well, The Kingdom Cast. Looking forward to another week of football here, and the weather's starting to turn cold, and we're halfway through the season. It's been a really kind of strange season. It doesn't seem like there's any. Maybe some people would say the Rams and the Cardinals have been dominant teams so far, but really all the teams, even the teams at the top of each conference, have some kind of head-scratching losses and some not going to say bad performances, but it just seems like things are more wide open this year than maybe any other year that I can remember here, recent memories. So good seeing you guys, as always. Take care. Be well. Y'all know if you ever need me for anything, you can reach out to me. You know where to find me.
I did see that you were going to be doing a Spaces. Is that still going ahead, Scott?
Yeah, I think so. Tomorrow. You can check out my Twitter profile. You can get the topic and get the gist of it. If you want to hop in and give a listen. I've seen a lot of talk about the unfortunate, the tragedy, the Henry Ruggs thing, and it's something that, like I said on my tweet, it's pretty deeply personal to me. And I feel like there can be a lot of things learned and known that can try to help avoid situations like that. Tragedies, senseless people losing their lives, and the people that are left behind, kind of destroying and their life. The ones who, stay with us to things like that happen. So, yeah, you can follow me at this Mr. Rodgers and hop on if you want, for sure.
Cool. Nick, final thoughts. Where can people follow you? Why haven't you got your Jimmy G thing up behind you in your kitchen?
Jimmy got ripped.
Oh.
So Jimmy's gone. God bless his soul. But nah, I mean,
it wasn't playing that bad that you had to rip it in half.
He had a good game last week.
It was phenomenal. Nah, it got damaged. I'm having to move some stuff about. I'm having the floor replaced in my flat, so things got damaged whilst moving things about, unfortunately. And frankly, my
flooring company.
My card collection is far more valuable than a Jimmy G poster. So it's one of those things. Yeah, I mean, I'm at N Ludlam 84. Obviously, it is 99.9% Niners with the odd smattering of stuff of multiple sclerosis awareness. But yeah, final thoughts. It's if we're going to make a run for it now is the time to start. And beating the Cardinals would re-announce this team to the league. What a place to do it! First home win or first win at Levi's in over a year. That's an insane stat. We need to fucking get rid of. Yeah, let's do it. Why can't we beat them? It's sports. Let's go for it. Go
Any
Niners.
given Sunday, as the film quite rightly says. Ryan, where can everyone find you?
Always faithful.
What are your final thoughts before we get up out of here?
And I tell you, if I know all faithful are watching this right now, we are one win away to be 500 again. And I was talking to myself last night as I was thinking about the last week's win. You know how close we are to that wild card? If all the teams ahead of us start losing, how I had her depleting all the way down their roster and everything, and they're going down. I'm not saying injuries are good. No, injuries are never good because we've been through it. Last year was hell for us. So, man, I tell you right now, if we can hold out, and I think glad we got all these pieces coming back. These pieces are going to help us a lot. And I hope this run game keeps going. And I'm hoping we at least win by at least 2 touchdowns. I'm hoping. If we got this, the only thing is our defense. I know our defense is struggling in our cornerbacks, safeties and all that shit. But Funga is playing safety. I can't wait to see him, Funga. Can't wait to see him. He did real good the last time he was out there. He was real good. The new guy we got, the Eagle guy, did we still keep him? The corner? I think he's a corner or safety. One of those two.
Who was that? Sorry.
I don't know his name. I forget what his name was. They signed him, though. They signed him. I guess they give him a tryout, get a tryout. I don't know what his name was, though. But they signed him. Had to do 1 year stuff, of course. But I hope he comes there, balls out. I know Mosley's still in there, but we lost Verrett. And we definitely lost, I think we lost Tart, Ward. Our back defense is really messed up right now. We just got to get that going. Once we get that going, our front line is going to be good. Especially the new sign we just signed with the new trade we just got. That's going to be awesome.
I'm not even going to attempt his name, but yeah, the new bloke we signed from.
I'm not. I know. I was on Number Niners last night, and I was listening to that broadcast, and Charles something, Humambaloo or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah, safeties will be Wilson. Wilson, and Hufanga. Yep. Tavon Wilson, I hope he does real good because I knew he came from the Colts. So, I hope we at least win maybe 2 touchdowns. Hope we can buy that. Hope we do. So, my final thoughts are just that.
No worries, Dion. You're always welcome. I always send you the link. Things happen. Doesn't matter. My final thoughts. 49ers are coming back, baby. That's my final thoughts. Obviously, always fuck the Cowboys, fuck Seattle, fuck the Raiders. I don't need to say anything else. You can follow us at Shank Club NFL on all social media platforms. Obviously, we're on Twitch. We actually get some viewers on Twitch, which is quite bizarre because I don't promote it or do anything on Twitch apart from broadcast, which is quite bizarre. Twitter, all of that. Let's get our first win at home in over a year. And nothing else to say, guys. Have a great week. Obviously, Nick, if you're free Saturday, what we got to do is send me the DM and I'll get you on, obviously. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Ryan, Nick.
As always.
John, everyone else, thank you for coming on, Scott. Loved it, as usual. Always fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing is we are still miles away from monetization. Monetization. So you can still fucking swear.
I can't say you, Nick, so don't feel bad.
I'm Nick. This is the Shank Club NFL. Everyone have a good week. Stay safe. Keep warm. And we will see you for the midweek show, 8 o'clock UK time on a Wednesday. And then we'll be back again, as usual, for more shenanigans.
One last thing, Nick. Don't drink and drive.
Yep, don't drink and drive.
Because you'll probably spill it if it's Fanta or Coca-Cola. We're out of here. Take care. See you soon.
Peace out.